Or like, obviously, the technology. Like,
Correct.
you can figure out a way to do it.
They got AI rap now, man. I don't even believe nobody that write that I don't even believe if you really even make it anymore, because motherfuckers I've been in studios with motherfuckers and motherfuckers is chat GPT and this shit. And I'm like, what in the fuck? And I'm like, damn, how long am I gonna be able to do this shit? Because I'm really actually making fresh shit. How long I'm gonna be able to do it when this motherfucker's in the studio typing into a computer getting their lyrics?
Because I think AI is demonic. I think AI is gonna get a backlash from real people, real organic people. And so I think artists need to go back to using their real voice and making sure people know this is authentic and not made from a computer.
Artificial intelligence has become an indispensable force shaping modern society, woven into the fabric of our daily lives in ways both seen and unseen. Far from being a futuristic concept, AI is a present-day reality that powers much of our technology, from the personalized recommendations on streaming services to the sophisticated algorithms that detect fraud in financial transactions. It's a transformative technology that has redefined industries, improved efficiency, and created new possibilities across numerous fields. And that entire opening statement was AI generated. When I started writing for this video, I got curious as to what AI would say to describe how commonplace it's become over the years, and the results basically said what I had written out already, albeit in a much more articulate fashion. So I'm honestly not opposed to the concept and application of AI in many instances, and I feel the need to state that because there's a lot of nuance in the overall discussion that seems to be overlooked due to people's strong feelings toward generative AI. Artificial intelligence has been integrated into our way of living for decades at this point, and many of us indulge regularly without even realizing it, making it pretty disingenuous for people to outright disparage the existence of AI and then turn around and use Siri or Alexa or some shit. But anyway, within the past 5 years or so, the boom of generative AI has been nothing short of controversial. It's handed talent to the talentless, and the talented are left wondering how long their hands-on methods will be sustainable. The fear of jobs being compromised is not just an ethical concern for artists but for writers as well. Not to mention that we are now living in a time where you can put anyone's face in a video in a matter of minutes, and the technology is literally improving by the day. So naturally, the music industry would both feel and embrace the impact of generative AI. AI in general has been a thing in the music industry since the 2000s. In the 2010s, the rise of apps like Amper Music, Ava, and more gave people the ability to create AI-generated music with just a few clicks. And by 2019, we saw the first AI rapper, FN Meka, emerge. It had this weird Tekashi 6ix9ine meets cyberpunk shit going on, and by 2022, it was legitimately signed to Capitol Records in a very low IQ move by them. They went into it strictly looking at the virality and ignoring what could come with signing an N-word spewing bot that was created by an Asian man and a white guy. After intense backlash, Capitol Records would issue an apology and subsequently pulled a Future Trunks disposing of FN Meka. However, the failure of FN Meka and the AI artist label by proxy did not sway others who saw the potential in the idea of creating a label stacked with AI talent, characters I guess. Anyway, but more on that later. By 2023, generative music took the world by storm again when a TikToker by the name of Ghostwriter977 used AI-generated vocals of Drake and The Weeknd to produce a song called Heart on My Sleeve. It was released across several streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify before eventually being taken down by UMG. A lot of people actually liked the song, and you can actually go look it up on YouTube and see that in the comments. And the song itself sparked a massive debate about whether it's possible to ethically use AI to generate vocals, to siphon the voice and cadence of rappers and singers for personal gain. For some, it's just harmless fun, and for others it might besmirch.
I don't like you coming out here and besmirching my word.
The artist of reference. But what happens when actual rappers and legendary producers get behind the AI movement? There are some rappers who have outlined different advantages of implementing AI into their music. Beanie Sigel, for example, spoke on training AI to capture his old voice so that he may use it for an upcoming album, and the progress of this can be heard on the track Motion Picture. Unlike most of the feedback AI-related music has gotten, this has been largely supported by listeners because it's not taking the rapper out of the equation for a streamlined process of making music. It's his voice alongside his actual written lyrics. Many even suggested that DLC do the same, as his vocal cords were damaged early in what was poised to be a promising career. Now, on a significantly less receptive note, Timbaland sparked massive outrage back in 2023 when he previewed a song that featured an AI Biggie after citing that he never got to work with him.
All right, so I'm sitting here with my brother, Creative God, and we know that there's a lot of talk about AI. We know how the feelings of violating certain things, but let me tell you something. I got a solution. I'm working on it. It's going to be beneficial to everybody. But in the meantime, you know, I got to share something I've been working on because I always wanted to do this and I never got a chance to. I always wanted to work with Big and I never got a chance to until today. It came out right. Play.
Breathe, not a pin, but I keep the trick up my sleeve. Rolling my sip and fucking running with your big seed. Got her in my palm, she won't be my man, please. Look up, cheese, it ain't on me, it's in me. Keep all my gold so glowing when I'm grinning. Filtering cabbage on my canine, that's my shimmy. Garbage rappers dropping trash, that's what I am literally. Her man don't give a gift, she said it's not giving. If you want to smoke, I gotta keep a hot chimney. See how it pop smoke, young dog, pot Nipsey. A lot of air.
Back in June of this year, Timbaland partnered with Suno, a generative AI music creation program, and he launched an AI record label called Stage Zero, alongside an AI artist named Tata. You could feel the collective disappointment as many online viewed this as one step closer to a soulless dystopia. Amidst the backlash, Timbaland would clap back at all the naysayers about pouring gallons of gasoline on the dancing flames.
AI is ruining music. Whatever. Go ahead and cry me a river, since Timbo Stamp is on that too.
Y'all crying about AI taking your spot, but your songs barely mix. Why would we train it on that?
Man, y'all scared of AI, but record every hook in Melodyne.
Auto-tune is AI, baby. Y'all just didn't complain till it started writing better hooks than you. Timbo ain't the villain, he just not babysitting y'all no more. You want opportunity, but ain't got output.
You worried about AI stealing your sound? Bro, you ain't got one.
Who am I kidding? I ain't had no bars to begin with.
One huge concern was that Timbaland was using music submissions for independent artists to train his bots, though he'd publicly denied this being the case. Everyone isn't against him though. will.i.am, for example, believes that Timbaland had good intentions with his AI movement. But with the way he's chosen to address the backlash, it kind of obfuscates that in my opinion. Meanwhile, Lupe Fiasco has been transparent with his work alongside Google to generate a large language model capable of breaking down any word to the syllable and opening a wealth of lyrical possibilities.
So I've been working with Google and the Palm API on a large language model powered set of tools that specifically focus on the writing process of creating raps.
And then there's text effects, which can parse words among many other variables and open a plethora of possibilities for wordplay and rhyme schemes. Now, responses to this have been more favorable since people know that Lupe takes the craft seriously and has made it a point to mention that this isn't to take the rapper out of the driver's seat. However, there's still a bit of skepticism, but Lupe cites the involvement of technology alongside hip-hop since its inception. It's feasible to think that if technology is moving forward and is unstoppable, there might as well be people willing to take advantage of it in a productive way in hip-hop.
Rap is born out of technology. rap wouldn't exist if it wasn't for these technological advancements. On top of here's all these special effects that you can do now. Here's all these different sounds that are generated through technology, like the 808. 808 is a lot of science and a lot of math and a lot of physics.
But I honestly can't blame most people if they hear about this and immediately picture an aspiring rapper using ChatGPT to come up with verses for them. Take the recent viral clip of Baby Chief Do It saying that he experimented with ChatGPT to write a verse.
I've been using that shit to write my lyrics, real shit.
Word, ChatGPT?
Hell yeah, that shit worked. Well, what I did was I wrote down 4 bars and I said, write me a song. And then it said, give me a start me off, some shit like that. And bro, I started him off, whatever the fuck it is. That shit, it wrote some shit. I never actually used AI before, like, until then.
What made you want to do it? Like, what, you just curious?
I had posted on my notes one night, I was bored as hell. And I was like, who wanna write my next song? And then this girl had replied to it, like, I would've just used ChatGPT. So I downloaded that shit. Oh, bro, and that shit is cold.
Yeah.
That shit's scary though, like all that AI shit.
Now, before any of you nerds get started with all the, oh, he was twolling, he already debunked that, I need you to understand one thing. That clip is the first time that thousands of people were introduced to that young man. Unfortunately for him, your first impression is often a lasting impression, so even if he was being honest and saying he was trolling, he's gonna be fused to the stigma that he uses AI to write raps for the foreseeable future. And regardless of that, it opened up a conversation about a possible reality where new artists and even existing artists are taking that route. Because even if he was joking, there were tons of people in the comments defending him by suggesting that there was no problem with using ChatGPT for that purpose. It's reasonable to assume that the clip inspired some geeks to try for themselves, and in the not so distant future we might have people making announcements that they actually write their lyrics as if that's something special and not the absolute bare minimum. But I digress. Back when Drake dropped Taylor Made Freestyle using AI voices for Pac and Snoop, the track was supported and well received by many until it wasn't. Some of the biggest platforms out there praised it for being scathing and creative until they were tapped on the shoulder and told that they shouldn't support AI. So it's hard to not believe that a lot of this is just a grift for some of the performative activists out there. Even Kanye went from supporting AI to stating that he hates it within a literal month span. But back to Drake. Eventually, Taylor Made Freestyle had to be removed from social media after the Tupac Shakur estate issued a cease and desist, which brings us back to the conversation about ethics. There are many accounts on YouTube and other platforms that create songs with the voices of rappers, and despite intentions possibly being just for shits and giggles, it can definitely infringe on publicity rights. If 2 rappers who hate each other are put on a song together by some random nerd and that song does numbers, there could be serious litigation behind that. And if a rapper is no longer among the living, performing digital necromancy will often be deemed tasteless. When the Tupac hologram appeared at Coachella over a decade ago, reception was pretty mixed. People were creeped out just as much as they were in awe. But in another example, we can look at how Cordae had an AI-generated Juice WRLD for their video for Doomsday. And many people considered this a proper and creative way to go about implementing AI in rap. And we've also seen Kendrick use AI in the video for The Heart Part 5. And this was also seen as a more artistic and positive way to incorporate deepfake technology to boost the themes of the song. So all in all, more rappers are gradually integrating AI into their music and visuals, some more noticeable than others. I don't know if this counts, but Will Smith is currently being destroyed on Twitter for using AI-generated crowds of white people to promote his tour. And I mean, it's blatant, that shit is embarrassing.
What the fuck is that?
But anyway, what do I think? Well, first and foremost, if you don't write lyrics, you're not a rapper. You are a performer. This is the same box I put people who have ghostwriters in. And that's just, my opinion. You can agree, you can disagree, but like, there has to be something that makes a rapper. You know what I mean? It's okay if writing is not your lane, but own that shit and stop labeling yourself a rapper because that undermines what it actually means to be one. Or maybe I should say lyricist. I really don't care much about the visual aspects of things, I just need the curator to have an actual pulse. From a producer standpoint with these AI labels and whatnot, it's literally to save money. I mean, these guys are tired of going to court, they're tired of paying people reasonable money for the revenue that they generate, so they just don't want to do it. That's all it is. It's not really that deep. And, there really isn't gatekeeping in hip-hop. Anyone is allowed to waltz in, collect a check, and leave. For every person who takes issue with something corny in the industry, there are dozens of people who call them a hater. It's honestly a lose-lose for any of us who actually love the craft and take pride in what formed this culture. There are just a lot of people who don't care. They're just here for the vibes and nothing more, nothing less, and it is what it is. And we're losing our elements and being told to shut up about it by people who look like us, so it can be discouraging at times. But again, I also have to remember that in these times, we're arguing with people who are told who to listen to and people who let analytics dictate which rappers they should like. The first week sales crowd. So it is what it is. I just hate that I thought Baby Chief slid on his verse on Chance's new album, and I don't even know if that was him for real.